Yep. Live. Looks like it. So we are now live, doing another Sky News reaction. Yeah. So today we're going to be reacting to the Sky News coverage of Daniel Andrews' resignation last year. Because I noticed when it happened there was a lot of coverage. They were absolutely reveling. They loved it. They were such big fans. Oh, they were over the moon. Same as the Sky News average commenter. They were very happy that he left. Yeah. So I've assorted some videos that we're gonna watch and react to, and yeah, we'll get started. So first one is about, it's not him having resigned yet. It's just that he may resign, which has happened. This video came out I think probably weeks before he did. So yeah.
There's reports
So we got
in the newspaper
this
today
woman
by
and
Rachel Baxendale
this
that Daniel Andrews
dude who doesn't. He seems kind of delirious looking to me. He looks a bit delirious. He doesn't know exactly where he is. Because he's also totally out next to a bridge apparently. What city is this? Is this Melbourne? I don't know. Where are you? Supposed to
be replaced by Jacinta Allen as Premier of Victoria.
Wow.
She would be Daniel Andrews' pick. What are you hearing about how
Crazy.
imminent the Premier's departure is?
Departure?
Well, it's been reported reasonably widely, and certainly amongst my friends, I think we've all assumed that this year was the year. Why that is,
and they were
I
predicting
don't really
this?
know.
Really?
It's a very tough
yeah,
and demanding
you're in
job.
Melbourne.
It takes strips off people. So there has been very
We
widespread
we wouldn't know you'd be in Melbourne if you didn't put that in the background. A totally still PNG picture, green screen of you being in Melbourne in the background. We wouldn't have known. It was impossible to tell. Thank you for adding that. Like, it was highly necessary.
speculation about him departing.
So
Oh my God, it's
hearing
him.
this year. That's what you're saying. You're hearing this year.
Look at him talking to the workers. What a sellout.
Yeah, I think it's obviously not certain, and I suspect
Wow.
he may not have made up his mind one way or the other. But there was a view that
Yeah,
with the
have you heard the nickname of him? He's Dictator Dan. Yeah. Leader of Victoria Stan. Capital Melbourne. A bad. I don't know. I don't think that's the thing about that.
Commonwealth Games announced.
Well, there's also the Soviet Socialist Republic of Victoria. That's another nickname for that.
And other sort of difficult announcements that they were sort of clearing the decks
Yeah.
a little bit for a possible transition. So I suspect it is coming.
Ooh.
Well, thanks very much for being here at short notice.
That's great. So the video just cuts off instead of actually just letting us hear the rest. Okay. So this one's going to where he actually has resigned. Probably going to see a bit of cheering.
9 years ago, I visited Government House to be sworn in as the 48th Premier of Victoria.
Sure.
It has been the honour and privilege of my life.
He says it.
On 3 occasions, Victorians have endorsed me and my team in record terms.
Widely, yes.
I'm very proud of that, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm also proud to think of all that we have achieved over these 9 years, in good times and bad. Always working
Especially
hard
the recent
to
bad.
do what's right, not simply what's popular. Every day has been about the only thing that really matters:
phone ringing in the
getting
background.
things done. Today I will again visit Government House and resign as Premier and member for Mulgrave,
Oh no.
effective 5 p.m. tomorrow. It's not an easy decision because as much as we've achieved together, there's so much more to do. But when it's time, it's time. Recently,
Really seems to know.
talking to my kids and Kath,
Yeah, I watched this whole
thoughts of
interview
what
when it
life
came
will
out.
be
Like I watched
after
this whole.
this
It was like
job
a
has started to creep in.
25-minute or
and
something.
I've always known
whole
that
interview.
the moment that happens, it's time to go.
Did,
and give this
he did question and answers, did Q&A, and he just told his whole reasoning behind doing it. Really, just went deep into his reasoning and just talked to the people. but why he felt this was the time to do it.
Privilege this amazing responsibility to someone else. It's not an easy job being Premier of our state. That's not a complaint, that's just a fact. It requires 100% from you and your family. That, of course, is time limited, and now is the time to step away. The only way that I know how to do this job is to have it consume me, to have it define me. To a certain extent, every waking...
He sounds like a lot like the YouTubers recently all living, like, the only way to have this job, especially Matt Pat saying, oh, the only way for me to do this job was to have it consume me, and like me, that's my full time, my full attention. I have to have the support of that, and I feel like it's time that I can give back. Like, he sounded a lot like the older YouTuber, especially Matt Pat. It's my 2 cents.
Moment is about the work, and that takes a toll. To
Yep.
have been Premier for 9 years and the leader of my
Calm
party
down.
for 13 years is
Yep.
a greater set of opportunities than I ever thought would be afforded to me. A kid from the country with only
No,
really
you actually call
an
that works, right?
aspiration to do good.
I'm not just meant to sit here and watch the video, I'm meant to talk. You know that.
Hard to work with teams of people to perhaps make things better. Can I say to you that the moment you're not comfortable with that
just
choice,
2 guys walking around
doing this
background.
job as a defining feature, your entire life pretty much, the moment you're not comfortable with that decision for you and the people that you love, then you have to
What do you mean, nuh-uh? Yeah, huh? It's just Matt Pat leaving, for real. We're doing
Why?
Matt Pat leaves reaction.
because you never want to get to a place where you resent this job, this amazing privilege and important opportunity. That would not be right, and I simply won't allow that to happen.
Great information, and then they just cut it off there. Leaves the state still
But
broken.
first, some lives in the public arena don't
Okay, so
improve.
here we go to them reacting. So, our first title we've got: Goodbye, Daniel Andrews, and Good Riddance. Wow, some strong words coming from. What the fuck is this? Ugh.
As time passes. Eventually the truth comes out and we find out the worst of what went on behind once closed doors. Now, I suspect that'll be the fate of
Yep.
Daniel Andrews and his
So
government.
much happened.
After he resigned
Yeah.
today as Victorian Premier, effective...
One of the things he did, like, just before leaving was, like, ban native logging on a massive scale. And yet you still have the nerve to just, like, yeah, good riddance, it's finally time to get out of here, get out. Yep, totally a fair and reasonable reaction. It's been said that the press absolutely despised. The press always despised Daniel Andrews, despite how, like, he was just that good that they hated him that much. Wow, crazy reaction we get here.
within 24 hours. There's no doubt that he's dominated this
No
state
doubt.
for 9 years. There's no doubt
Dominated.
he was one of the most brutally
And no doubt that the Liberals dominated the federal government for 9 years.
effective political
Not even 9,
players
like
I've
12.
ever observed up close in politics. But that says more about the weakness of his opposition, internally and externally, than the quality of his leadership or his government.
So you're gonna... you say they're bad now. Wow. Maybe, this is so scientific. Yep. Political science. Yeah, it's just like, who is this? What? These weird, like, golden buttons? Are those buttons or what? Just... Now, they're just added there for a little bit of personality. Leaves the state still broken.
Under Andrews, debt has blown out massively. The worst state debt...
Debt. Oh my god. Labour equal debt? Labour debt moment? Oh my god. That's crazy.
in the country.
Coins.
Taxes are up.
Taxes Taxes. Oh my god, taxes go up. Holy shit, taxes went up. This has never happened to any Liberal government ever. I swear.
Billions over budget, years behind schedule.
Oh.
The state is in the grip of a housing crisis, and small business.
Yeah, every other state is too, and like, God, fuck me. This is not the fault of the Liberals or the Labour. Like, at the current moment, everywhere is just in the housing crisis. Like, a lot of parts of the, like, first world are just in housing crisis. And there's many reasons for this. I may do a reaction of a good video about why the problem with modern housing and why an easy way to fix it, like, because there is just a really easy way to fix the modern housing crisis. Yeah, honestly, I recommend this YouTuber Brit Monkey. He just like makes such good videos. And like he makes such good points with like well researched. And he's also like not boring either. He's like very nice and comedic too. Got all that, and yeah, just such a fan of the work he does.
Are on their knees, having never recovered from their premier's world record-breaking lockdowns.
Yeah, it's kind of because Victoria had like some of the worst COVID epidemics of the world. Like, you can't really help having a lockdown if like everyone's dying. You kind of need to lock down, almost. I know it's a bit hard to understand for a COVID suicide. Yeah, that's crazy. Do you know COVID deaths are also a scourge? Yeah.
The state's big hospitals are routinely on bypass with rats in the corridors.
Rats in the corridors. What the fuck is this? This is not News Reporter. You did not just say rats in the corridors. What the fuck? Have you ever been to one of these hospitals? Like, ever? You fucking going to? Can you give me a little bit of a seat? Can you give me a little video of these rats in the holes? Yeah, because this video is showing on the right definitely looks like a massive dystopia. Like, ooh, a closed business. Ooh, people wearing masks. Ooh, a pandemic that's happening. It's crazy.
And who can ever forget the Andrews legacy of gender-fluid primary school kids?
Gender-fluid primary school kids. What the fuck? Okay, let's hear her out.
Prisons, an Indigenous treaty commission the Victorians never voted for. Drug injecting rooms.
What the fuck does that mean? Drug injecting rooms? Huh?
And the all but cancellation of Australia Day.
Oh god.
That's before we even get into
the cancellation of Australia Day. Yeah, this is always a problem. This narrative about Australia being cancelled is always it's a problem with the media. It's a problem with the media. It's the media is trying to use that to distract from actual problems, like that have been brought on. So, oh yeah, it's because they're cancelling Labor Day. That's the Australia Day. That's the problem. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ. This is not that mattered that much. Just, can you tell us the actual problems? Not just, they're cancelling Australia Day. This is horrible. The Labour is killing the nation. Oh no. This is a horrible day for Australian freedoms.
Into the issue of Victoria's crime crisis with home invasions, violent assaults, carjackings and youth crime on the sort of scale you might expect in Johannesburg or
youth crime? Johannesburg?
South America.
South America! Specifically Johannesburg. Not like Cape Town or the other, I don't know, any other place in South Africa. Why just not any of South Africa? Just say South Africa. Why specifically Johannesburg? Is that like a thing? That Johannesburg's crime is super high? Okay, sure.
Not here in Australia.
Oh.
And yet the Teflon Premier was untouchable. despite signing secret deals with the Chinese, despite
Secret deals? Yeah, he and only he has done secret deals with the Chinese. No one from any other party in Australia has done secret deals with the Chinese. Not the Nationals, nor Liberals, nor anyone else.
putting the Labor Party into administration, despite the numerous inquiries into allegations of corruption or abuse of power.
Yet, why do you think people kept voting him in? Because their lives were improving. Like, fuck. For the first 6 years first 6 years of his which are his first 2 terms, everyone's lives there were improving as a result of voting in Daniel Andrews. The only problem was there was kind of a COVID-19 pandemic, which kind of made life worse for everyone in the world, and now that's a fault of Daniel Andrews though. Yeah, I definitely didn't feel like my life became worse during COVID. When I live in a state which was under the Liberals at the time, yeah.
That always seemed to conclude that whoever was to blame, it was never the Premier, without whose say-so, nothing ever happened in this state.
I can't specifically recall.
I can't recall. I presume I did.
I don't recall the conversation.
I have some memory, but not full memory.
I don't
What's this
recall
about?
specifically, not to my recollection.
I have no recollection of that.
What's
I
this
can't
for?
specifically recall.
Okay. What was that meant to
Well, now
be?
he's gone. My only regret is that he resigned and he wasn't voted out of office or taken away in handcuffs.
Taken away in handcuffs. What do you think he did that would deserve that?
And while it's a long way back for Victoria, today when he got to his feet and said it was time to go, it was hard not to feel that the sun was shining just a little bit brighter in Melbourne.
No, that doesn't happen. Well, sometimes a day. 3 hours. Next 3 hours you have a blizzard. Next 3 hours you have fucking torrential rain. And yeah, then 3 hours you can have a bit of sunshine. Another 3 hours you'll have sunburn inducing fucking tar melting heat rays coming from interesting, coming from the fucking sun. Very interesting, I know, right? It's crazy reactions.
Now, did he go before his past finally caught up with him? Or was it because he
What
had
past?
extracted the one last promise he needed? That the federal inquiry into the pandemic would not look at the states, would not look into him or
Federal
look at his
inquiry.
secrets? Was that what he was
His
waiting
secrets?
for? The commitment
Ooh.
from Anthony Albanese that premiers like
Anthony
Andrews would
Albanese.
not face a royal commission?
Ooh.
And that any COVID inquiry would not investigate them. Well, he got that last week, and now this week he's gone. The man who made
no.
Melbourne the world's most locked down city, the man who gave Victorians
Yeah, why do you think it was needed? Would you have rather, like, we have the US strategy of just letting 200,000 people die adjusted to Australian population. Which they did. 200,000 people died from COVID in the United States. Under the famed Donald J. Trumpus. What a great president.
most
how to
miserable
run a
2
country.
years of our lives.
Miserable 2 years. 2 years? What? Don't you mean 9 years? He was in term for 9 years. That would have been 9 years of miserability.
Off scot-free, and in his wake, he leaves a state that's still broken. A CBD struggling to get
Oh.
back where it once was, a legacy
no.
of mental health harm.
Mental health? What
It's
the
not-
fuck does mental health harm mean? What are you on? Also, so you're judging. I don't get why does you care so. Like, this is like the one conservative thing that like cares about mental health. All of a sudden, like every other conservative media like just dismisses anything to do with mental health problems.
Or businesses that will never recover. Daniel Andrews said today he doesn't look back.
I'm not a regretful person. I don't look back. I've always been, I'd like to think, I've always been focused on the future. I'm sure many people would have answers to that question, and they might run to more than one thing. But that's a matter for them. This is a democracy.
Oh yeah, to take away the context, because he was asked like, what was his worst thing he thinks he did in office, or like the best thing in his office. I forget exactly. I watched it like months ago, but he was asked like a question like, "What is your favorite or least favorite thing that happened to you in office?" And he just says he doesn't want to look back on it. Like he feels that it's like he doesn't need to do that.
I've never been about
That's just
being
context.
100% popular.
Oh, cut him off
Doesn't
before he can
look
say
back,
more.
he says. Well, he needs to, because believe me,
Oh.
we haven't forgotten.
Oh no.
What's this?
Ultrasound in an hour.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh no.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
What the hell? Truly some of the people of all time.
Ed, you're what the are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
What the hell?
Media! Media! Media!
Media?
Throwing stuff now, and okay, they're shooting. They're now shooting.
Did Daniel Andrews order this to happen? Did he like tell them to? What? Was that guy carrying a grenade launcher? What the hell? What is this? Grenade launcher looking us. Come on. Yeah. I don't know what this is about.
Throwing stuff now.
Throwing stuff now.
Okay, they're shooting. They're now shooting.
Oh.
And yet today, he expected us to be grateful. Today, he was even
Why do you think he kept getting re-voted in?
proud of what he had done. As I said, history will be his judge. You can't bully history like the Premier has bullied and humiliated
Financial
others,
death penalty.
the media included, for years. Now, often when big characters leave the stage, we say we'll never see their like again in our lifetime. In the case of Daniel Andrews, by God, I hope that's true.
That's what I
But
thought about
first, of
Kissinger
course,
when he died.
Daniel Andrews.
Ah.
He gets away with it. He gets away with it. Today,
He gets
Victoria's
away with
Premier
it.
quit after 9
The
years in the
Bolts
job and
quits.
3 election wins and quit
3 election
on his
wins.
own terms.
Yeah, somehow he was able to get 3 election wins despite you guys fucking going after him every single night. Every day of the year.
Being by almost every measure.
Real news, honest views. Oh, fuck. They're quite the thing they call themselves, like Australia's best news source, most open news source. How is this allowed? This shit should not be allowed. This is why they've been having all these ICACs and everything into Sky News recently, and media bias and stuff in Australia, because media diversity. That's it. Like even ex-Liberal leader Malcolm Turnbull like appeared to like talk to the court about how he like as the Prime Minister they fear for like how the media will treat them. They fear for how Sky News, 7 News, 9 News will treat them like after anything they do, any announcement, any policy they change, anything they do. They fear for that because if they just get on their wrong side, the media can absolutely smash them. And it's hard to recover from that. But somehow Daniel Andrews was able to get re-elected elected 3 times, re-elected twice, despite how Sky News and other sources treated him.
One
Especially
of
Sky
the most
News.
disastrous political leaders in our lifetime.
When it's time, it's time. Recently, in talking to my kids and Kath, thoughts of what life will be like after this job have started to creep
They're
in.
just repeating the same thing from
And
that
I've
first
always
one.
known that the moment that happens, it's time to go and to give this privilege, this
Okay.
amazing responsibility to someone else. You never want
Wow.
to get to a place where you resent this job.
I feel like I've heard this
Yeah,
somewhere
well,
before.
Liberals were telling me, we're popping champagne corks and all this kind of stuff, but they've got to know this. They
Yeah.
never beat him. They never beat him. He's now going to leave as a winner.
Yep.
Or so he thinks, and his critics
yeah,
can
he did.
get stuffed. Basically, in his own eyes, he's the
Get
man who
stuffed.
stared them all down, a misunderstood man
always doing the right thing,
Misunderstood.
making the tough calls in tough times.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
like
he had
during
to.
the pandemic.
Yeah,
Perhaps you've not
he did.
ever really understood this about me. Like, I've never complained about the fact that we had to deal with fire and flood and a 1 in 100 year pandemic. That's the job.
Yep.
The job is dealing with all comers and all issues. And it's not an easy job. If it was easy, it would be
Absolutely
nowhere near
true.
as important as it is. So I've never once complained about what we've had to deal with. That's just life. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
But I only know
That's
one
our
way to
responsibility.
deliver against those challenges, and that's to do the right thing, not to try and be pandering, listening to the loudest voices, trying to be
Right.
popular. You know, that's not worth.
And then they literally, how is Sky News putting this? Okay, how is Sky News putting on this and not seeing any single bit of irony? They're literally putting this. Let's listen to that once again.
challenges, and that's to do the right thing, not to try
Yeah, like-
try and be pandering, listening to the loudest voices.
Yeah, who are those loudest voices, huh? Who are those loudest voices? MrSkyNews.com.au. Fuck. Oh, they're so hypocritical. Oh.
Trying to be popular, you know, that's not worth much. It doesn't last, and it's not what's needed.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
trying to
how you
be
gonna react to
popular. What a
that?
saint. Well, in fact, there's the joke right there. This is a man who polled public opinion right through the pandemic and switched from hard lockdowns to she'll be right as soon as the public mood changed from terrified, thanks to Daniel Andrews, from terrified to she'll be right.
Wow, yeah,
And this
Sky
a man
News
who
is
last
quoting
year,
themselves.
certainly
Great.
the first half, actually spent more on advertising than any other state and any business in the country.
Okay.
And it's that
Okay.
ferocious eye for public opinion that's helped him today to quit with his
Wow.
party way ahead of the hapless, hopeless Liberals.
Yeah.
So that's got to be success, right? He's a winner. Except, of course,
Indeed.
history will not be so
Oh.
kind to him. And as a former senior Labor colleague of Andrews told me this afternoon, now that it's gone, he loses control of how that history will be written.
History.
Tongues in the
Yeah, because he
government.
could definitely do that himself. Because he can write the history now. Yeah. Because this is World War II. And this is the Allies winning against the Axis, I guess. What do they think this is?
The Iron Fist. They're forcing out
He
his
doesn't own
rivals,
public opinion. This
and
is
they'll
not
be loosened.
1984. He doesn't own the public
And
opinion.
The fact is that this socialist left premier
Oh, socialist left premier. Oh, spooky.
has a big problem. He is leaving.
Call? You want to join the reaction? Do you? What you say? Hmm? You want to join on a call? Yes? Hmm? Hello?
Order, Mr.
Yeah?
Woodard.
So you want to join this stream we have going on here?
Yes.
Yes.
Allow me to first say, these people are like actually idiots.
Real.
Like, what the fuck is this going on about?
Do you want me to share the screen or you can just watch from the live stream, like, use it or something? And, like, yeah. Oh, maybe just leave the live stream and just share the screen. I think it'll be easier.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. Got that?
I just muted the live stream.
Oh, okay then.
Let's roll.
Yeah. Well, but you don't know what they're gonna say, do you? So you kind of have to
Yeah, stream it.
like stream
so
it.
I can mute the like actual stream.
Stream. Okay.
Just have it open.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaving a disastrous legacy. As I tipped on election night last year, he'll be gone.
This guy.
before the next one because the reckoning will soon come.
Reckoning.
It's coming now.
What's
Favourite
the
King
reckoning?
Measure, Daniel Andrews, in fact, rates as one of the very worst premiers, judged by what is done for his state and not by what is won for Labor. You take the state's debt, it's massive. It's bigger than New South Wales.
Debt. This is the Labor debt. It's been seen in the media coverage. There's like graphs showing the amount of debt that's mentioned in like media, and it just skyrockets the amount of debt mentioned when Labor is in power and just plummets when the Liberals are in power. It is like just there's graphs about that to just show it. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
How you can see it. Yeah.
And Queensland's combined with ratings agency Moody's
Hey,
warning
can you
that the way it's
stream
going
on
is
Discord?
Yeah, I'm streaming on Discord, right?
Are you?
Yeah.
No.
No. What do you mean?
You aren't streaming.
No.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
That's fixed.
it's going to
Yeah,
be double,
go for it. Go
quick,
for it.
smart.
Yep.
Or you take the electricity system. This
Electricity.
global warming extremist, the Premier.
Global warming extremist. What does that mean? Oh, he's extremely passionate about global
Do
warming.
they like global warming?
Yes, they do. Very
Yeah.
much.
Has left
It's pretty obviously shown with how they talk about it.
Victoria short of electricity than any other state, with the energy market operator
Yeah,
warning of
blackouts
blackouts
for
perhaps
higher
even
energy
this
prices?
summer. There's
Why?
big projects. So many of them
Can you actually tell me why not just say
this summer?
because of the Labour Party?
There's big projects. So many of them have blown their budget. The Metro Tunnel, for instance, by nearly $3 billion.
Why do you need? Oh,
Huh? Yeah, sometimes stuff is over budget. Yeah. Do they not get that? And at least the money is being used
Yeah.
for something that helps people. Like, at least it's not for something like damming
Yeah, a
some
metro
water that
tunnel's
helps a
so
few
good.
people. Like, sometimes they
at
like.
least it's not like a nuclear radiation plant.
It's just a metro for people.
What do they think a metro tunnel is like exactly?
They
Like
think
a
it's.
doomsday
They think
weapon?
it's a personal labor-free place to go to quickly get around for just them, so they can get to the next press meeting.
Yeah.
His promised suburban rail
Like
loop.
help the people.
Estimated now to cost not the $50
Suburban
billion
rail
that
loop.
Andrews first claimed, but
Yeah.
$125 billion.
So predictions can change now. I've never heard this before. This has never happened.
And that, by the way, is a suburban linking suburbs you don't want to go to other suburbs you don't want to go.
What did he just say? He did not just say. He did not just say that you shouldn't be going on these railways because they go to bad suburbs.
Where?
He's not just saying that.
Just claimed, but $125 billion.
No way.
And that, by the way, is a suburban linking suburbs you don't want to go to other suburbs you don't want to go. It's a white elephant.
Get the people in those suburbs want to go places too. Are they not allowed to leave?
Does he think like everyone's like rich like him?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, like it's like what we were talking about yesterday about how the prediction about how someday where there's the reason that there's no trains in northeastern is because that's where all rich people live, and they know like that a lot like less people who have less money than them are the people who like using trains, so we don't want people like that coming to our like
especially because trains are like
neighborhoods.
really cheap.
Yeah, like it's just the same sort of logic. And in Melbourne, it seems like they've already been used for the people who have money, so now they don't want them to go to people who don't have money. So, great. That sounds lovely.
But details like money never bothered this man. This is the Premier who started his authoritarian regime.
Authoritarian. How is letting votes happen every 3 years authoritarian? What does he think? Remember, this is real news and honest views with Sky News.
Wow.
God, and the King Charles. Who is this?
His reign by tearing up a key road project.
Tearing up a key road project.
Link, which the Liberal government had ordered, flushing, for purely political reasons, $1 billion of taxpayers' money down the toilet. $1 billion paid in compensation for absolutely nothing. And has ended, believe it or not, his 9 years with the same stupid trick. Cancelling.
Stupid trick. Okay then. Yep. He's leaving politics for a political reason. Yep. Makes sense. That one.
Yeah, Commonwealth Games, he could never have afforded.
Oh, the Commonwealth Games. Going to bring up that point. Dude, there's better things to be spending money on than the Commonwealth Games. He realised that. People are dying in COVID-19 and bushfires, dude. We don't need to be spending money on Commonwealth Games.
I heard about this a bit. What was the Commonwealth Games thing?
So, they were going to host the Commonwealth Games sometime soon in Victoria. But Daniel Andrews decided to not let it happen there because there's just more important things that they need to be spending their money on right now, like the housing crisis and recovering from COVID. Like, he realised that, and that's why he didn't allow it. But, yeah.
Okay. That's why I thought it was, but...
$380 million in compensation. Again, for nothing. But what a performer he was even then, announcing this news, this compensation, as if it actually saved money.
Saved money.
I can confirm a final settlement, $380 million, not a dollar more, no court action. The matter is closed out and finalised.
So they think that spending money on the Commonwealth Games is a way to not... What? Their point is that spending money on the Commonwealth Games does save money. How much does...
It definitely doesn't. You lose so much money on Commonwealth Games. Everyone does. The only people who don't are like...
Money.
Like the big ones.
Spend...
So what?
On
France
the
doesn't
recent...
really spend that much money on it?
Allocated 778 million.
So much, don't they?
Legacy of
Games.
Games.
Yeah, every
9.
like major sporting event ever loses money.
They spent $1 billion on the Commonwealth Games, and they're saying these guys spent $1 billion on. They spent $1 billion USD on the Commonwealth Games, and these guys are saying that that money losing 380 is better than losing whatever. So it's just to basically $1 million USD to AUD. That isn't so that's Australia basically losing 380 million, which is what they're saying, instead of losing 1 million, which is 1.5 million, which is apparently better. I don't really get their point. Yeah, they literally saved over 10 million, like $1 million.
And in between, during the COVID-19 pandemic, which I think is going to define his rule, Andrews imposed the harshest and longest lockdowns of any state, again and again, like some sort of obsessive madman convinced that he could finally eradicate even this virus, no matter the cost to the men and women, and especially the children of Victoria, that people he was locking down so often.
Bro, just complaining that his family didn't die during COVID.
Yeah. Somebody please think of the children. They need to be out in school. Don't care if they can catch the...
Was he like...
Don't care if they can catch the horrible virus.
Was he in like hibernation during those like 2 to 3 years?
I don't know. What does he think happened?
Like...
Bro, probably COVID-19 denier.
He doesn't realise COVID...
At first, at least.
It's
probably.
An extinction event. He did really well with avoiding.
Yeah, like... He's criticizing. He's like criticizing Victoria for having the most amount of lockdowns, despite the fact that Victoria had the most amount of like pandemic waves, like in most of the world, in a single city.
Had the most amount of people like that got COVID.
Like, yeah, that's kind of necessary to save lives. I feel like saving lives is better than having a kid be able to go to school instead of doing homeschool like on the computer. Like,
yeah.
I feel like there's different things at stake here.
For so little. I mean, it was another case of, look at me, I'm making the tough call.
You will no longer be able to remove your mask to drink a cocktail at a pop-up beer garden on a footpath as part of a pub crawl. Playgrounds, basketball courts, skate parks and exercise equipment closed. Won't be able to go to the pub because the pub is shut. Doesn't mean you can get on the beers selfishly. People will die. Locked in. I don't care what you call.
Why are they're cutting between stuff? Like, they're trying to make a single sentence.
What is this cut?
Like, can I just let the actual clip play out instead of just, like, keep cutting it? Actually, like, let him explain.
It's like a really bad, like, AI script.
And they realize, like, a lot of this
they're
stuff
trying to put
can
together.
still be done at home. Like, if you really want to exercise, buy home equipment. If you really want to gather alcohol, buy your alcohol from the groceries, which are still open.
And it's,
What are you
it's
thinking?
not like they also kept this up for, like, the entire 2.5 years.
Like, there were times
Like,
when
they
they
kinda
relaxed
let-
and like, did it again.
Yeah, they loosened it up, like, when people started to actually follow the rules.
Just do it.
I think they just, it's been dumb.
You can't.
But even then, Andrews again proved he was the most incompetent leader of any state, despite that air of utter conviction, you know, that conviction that some people confuse with leadership, even as they're being led over a cliff or into a final.
So my leader shouldn't have conviction. He should be doubting himself constantly. Yep, that's something I want. A leader who doesn't know what he actually thinks. That sounds way better than someone who knows what he needs.
A leader. Yeah,
Like-
I'd rather a leader with too much conviction than none at all.
None at all, yeah. Because that leader will just
none
get
at all
pushed
just
around and won't be able to
about
get anything done.
Bunker?
Yeah.
Because more facts. Under Daniel Andrews, Victoria in the pandemic not only had the worst and longest lockdowns, devastating businesses, ruining lives, it still had the most breakouts from his ramshackle quarantine hotels and, most crucially, the most deaths of any state.
Maybe it's because you had the most
And, you know, if
COVID.
you think I'm being a bit mean, I'm raining on this poor guy's parade, his one-man parade, you know, being cruel to a man who's leaving after giving everything to serving his state. I do not doubt his work ethic for a second. He said himself today he doesn't actually care what critics think, which I should add includes critics like the state's corruption watchdog and the Ombudsman, who accused Labor under Daniel Andrews of stealing nearly $400,000 of taxpayers' money to pay Labor campaigners.
For all the kind of negative stuff.
$400,000. It has definitely not been proven, like, many a times that the Liberals spend way more of that on taxpayers' money on their re-elections. Yeah, that's never been proven at all. Fuck. This is just literally blindness. And the people in the comments, like, eat this shit up so much. It's crazy.
Delusion.
Like, yeah, they're literally delusional by, like, this shit.
Time. And it's not the best feature of modern politics. Some of the stuff that's said and written. But it's there and it doesn't bother me. It's never ever fazed me. I have a very, very thick skin. And you need that to do this job.
Yeah, it's because, like, this isn't actually criticism. It's just, like, pushing him around. It's not actually, like, reasonable stuff. It's just, did you know he has big ears? This is bad because he dictated down an authoritarian and socialist Labour government. Yeah. What do you do? He approved solar panels in near Bendigo. Yeah. Yeah, but he's also got.
Weird.
Yeah, but he's also a socialist.
But again, that's the thing. It's not
Yeah,
about me.
fuck them socialists.
The role is too important for that. The work is too important for that. People can say whatever they want about me, good and bad. It's always been about the work.
Most of it was bad.
There's a body of work there, and I'm very proud of that.
But the media.
But there you go. Andrews is going out a winner, under his definition of winner, if not mine. Is going out to work, I don't know, he wouldn't say, he hasn't made up his mind, I guess. He's going to work, I suspect, for some business. Maybe some business related to China. The country is
China.
signing up to.
What the fuck? Some business related to China. Yeah.
That was kind of
Okay.
like
yeah. This is
a little
fucking
motivated.
This is so stupid. A business relating to China.
Is it confirmed? Can he speak Chinese?
Yeah.
Is it confirmed?
It's kind of like when the another Labour leader, Kevin Rudd, does. And this is not like at all similar to when the Vice Premier of New South Wales resigned after making himself a job which he then decided to quit because of mental health and bullying reasons at the workplace, while he's earning like $1 million a year. Like, yep, that's fucking not a loser at all, Mr. Barilaro. An absolute goon. Yep.
This Belt and Road Initiative alone
Belt and Road Initiative
in this country. And it's now up to some other premier to figure out how to pay off the debts that he left behind, how to finish the mad projects he dreamed up, how to fix the electricity system he's helped to ruin. Let some other premier and the culture of secrecy too in this state. And the arrogant use of power as well.
Power.
Andrews is off.
What do you mean the arrogant use of power? What's that meant to mean? What do you mean by that? The arrogant use of power.
Do you like maybe power costs? Is that it? Is he complaining about his bills?
I think it's just like saying stuff that's meant to sound bad but has no actual factual truth, because they don't actually have to back anything up. They just like
meaning to it.
Here is a clip. Here is a headline that we made that we put up, but you're meant to believe it, even though we have shown no evidence for this headline being true.
Up to generations of Victorians who pay and pay.
Now let's bring in Associate Editor of the Australian newspaper, Jenna Clark. Jenna, what was the reaction in the newsroom today when this unfolded?
Sherry, I must say it was one of shock and surprise, not too dissimilar to what we heard earlier in the year by Daniel Andrews' good mate across the Nullarbor, Mark McGowan, who also stepped down as West Australian Premier just a couple of months ago, citing exhaustion and just saying that, you know, my time is up. Look, I don't want to foreshadow too much, but I know that our Victorian editor, Damon Johnston, has an incredible piece for the paper tomorrow about his time previously as the editor of the Herald Sun, so it's definitely a must-read tomorrow. But I think
and actually, Damon Johnston's going to be on my show in a moment.
Why are you the one commenting on this? You're in Sydney. This is not... How are you meant to know anything about this when you're in Sydney? You're not a Melbourne or Victorian associate editor for the Australian. Yeah. Great.
Look at that. There you go. And what a sizzle. And I'm just alerting viewers that in the corner of our screen now we have Daniel Andrews' car leaving Government House. So he has just resigned his commission as Premier of Victoria. That will be effective 5 p.m. tomorrow.
All these people ever allowed
like live as it was happening.
Near these places.
So Jenna, continue as you were saying. You know, this was a shock today. What do you think?
Try and find a single personality difference between these two people here. Like, they seem like absolute just clones of each other. Like, oh my god, that's such good lipstick. Oh, but your lipstick's so good.
The lipstick is the only difference.
Literally, to be honest, like, the only difference.
Yeah.
Will be,
if you only look at their faces.
He will
It's basically just the lipstick.
Be remembered for the tough and many would say horrific approach to COVID lockdowns.
Horrific.
I think so. COVID lockdowns, the worst in the world, or the longest in the world, I should say, and also massive debt. I think, and I say that as an outsider, not having lived in Victoria and things like that, but just seeing sort of the impact that those lockdowns have had on friends and associates. I think that will be a legacy that will probably even transcend his incoming, the successor, because I think that this impact will go on for many years, especially on, like you said in your editorial, on young children. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting, and just the fact that
I haven't heard a single thing about this new Victorian Premier. I haven't heard a single time like anyone's talked about them ever. Like, I have no clue what they have done so far. I hope maybe they're just decided to be nice this time. Yeah.
One of his legacies
sees, I think, as what Simon alluded to, will be his gruff approach to the fourth estate.
Gruff.
And I find it very odd that he continued to, you know, throw up today, well, you don't understand this about me, you don't know this about me. That's because he never offered himself up for any interviews. I think the last one I can really remember is a sit-down interview with The Guardian, and that's the most recent sort of published one-on-one we've had in recent times. And
maybe because The Guardian's like the only publication in all of Australia that won't instantly dismiss anything good he does and just say, stupid, bad, socialist, authoritarian, dictator Dan. Like, The Guardian's like the only good news source in the whole of this country, I swear.
They sat down with the ABC last Monday before announcements were made into key housing policies.
An authoritarian approach to the
Authoritarian, there they go.
Contempt for the media. That is Daniel Andrews in a nutshell. Now, Jenna, let's quickly have a look at some of the other top stories of the day, and Damon Johnston, the Victorian political editor of The Australian, will join us in a moment to talk about Daniel Andrews. But The Australian today revealed the Defence Force's number of outsourced workers has risen to 37,000, a record number, and this as recruitment and retention efforts flatline. But these dwindling Defence Force numbers come as emergency services ministers, Jenna, meeting Canberra this week. They're telling us that they are prepared for the bushfires.
The thing is, they sneak in other things too, like they're sneaking in little snippets about like things that are just different little headlines into videos that are about unrelated things. Like, I bet the rest of this has like they're not going to mention.
What's the assessment on this?
Okay.
I think it's really damning.
Okay. After this video, I'm going to
states
end
and
stream.
Territories are not ready for summer, specifically the bushfire season, Shari. And just the fact we had Murray Watt, you know, on Sky and on TVs over the weekend saying, yeah, we're prepared. Couldn't really explain how we were going to be prepared. And when you also look back and you peel away and you look at things like the Victorian Firefighters Association Union, still saying that things like COVID mandates, you know, are thwarting people joining the force in voluntary numbers, outdated machinery. I think this just goes to show that, you know, the army can only be called in for
COVID-19 stopping firefighting.
COVID lockdowns. But the fact
they literally have to wear huge giant masks over their face.
Is coming, and I think we haven't really had a plan, so I guess we'll have to wait for another emergency white paper or something, but that's not going to help when summer is right on our doorstep.
What are they trying to prove?
And also, like, half the time they just cut off.
Like they're trying to prove, like, Australia's just like an anime island or something. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. We have fires.
His record
we have
speaks for
fire
itself.
tornadoes.
I'm sure they made
spiders the size of a grown man's hand.
And I'm sure by very good they mean locking down and keeping the Victorian people at home and away from business and making them poor and less fortunate. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna go now. This has been a lot better of a stream the last time when I had to leave, and then the rest of it was like still cutting out and shit. So yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.